Hi everyone, welcome to a tutorial on using Adobe Pro to start your portfolio. The first thing you're going to do is to download Adobe Pro to your computer. So last year, Adobe Pro was made available to all faculty and staff, and we were sent an email around the time of February 5th of 2019 that gave a link and a login to Adobe Cloud so that we could download that onto our computers. So you'll need to go into your email and check for that. It's going to be from Adobe Pro or Adobe Cloud. Once you do, you'll log in, you'll go to the Enterprise ID. You'll be able to sign in to your single sign-on for Arkansas Tech, and that will get you into the spot where you can open it up. Of course, you'll want to do that and get your password right. Once you're in, you're going to want to go and click on the Creative Cloud. That's going to bring up all of the different apps and services that are available to you as a user of the Creative Cloud for Adobe. There are a lot of apps there. You can play with them all you want, but for the purposes of this tutorial and for creating your portfolio, you are going to be wanting to look for the Adobe Pro icon. And it looks something like this, Adobe Acrobat DC. Download that and get it onto your computer, and you will be in pretty good shape. Once you've got the software, the next step is really planning for how you're going to put all of these pieces together. What I've done is to create a file folder in my Dropbox, which is what I use, that contains all of the subsections that I want in my portfolio: teaching, scholarship, and service, maybe a little extras or whatever. And under teaching, I might have advising or those kinds of things. So you're going to want to put all these together, and that's where you will want to put all of the pieces, because once you've got all of those pieces in a file folder where you can go and grab them, it's going to help you, once you create your structure, to just be able to drag and drop everything where you need it. Next up is actually creating your PDF with all the pieces you've saved. So with Adobe Pro open, you're going to want to select the files to start creating your PDF. And I think that having an infrastructure is probably the easiest way to do it. So go down, open up Create, and you'll want to select a file that you can use. I've created a bunch of dividers that I use to create subsections, and that's what I have opened up here in order to start placing all of the other pieces within my portfolio. So once you've got that, you'll see a little thumbnail. Go ahead and hit Create, and it will open those up within a PDF document. So you'll see all of those pieces that you've used, and my dividers will all show up right here. So the next thing I do is to go to Organize Pages. It actually allows me to see a thumbnail of everything that I've put into my document so far, and it allows me to manipulate all of those pages as I want. I can rotate them. If I need to, I can delete them, or I can add extras in between, and you can see how you can insert from the file, from a clipboard, from wherever you want to go. So for this one, I've got all of my pieces put together in their subfolders, so I want to add a few more into it. I'm going to add some stuff from my advising area. So I'll go up here, I'll click on that PDF I want to add, and it pops magically in just behind whatever I've selected and to add it behind. So I'm adding a whole bunch more of those in just to flesh it out a little bit for the purposes of this tutorial, and show you a little bit more about what I'm adding in. I've got a summary I'm going to put in there. Every time you highlight something, when you highlight that particular document and add the insert, it's going to add it right after that document. So now I want to see what I've got here and make sure that everything is in the order that I want it. And I've got my advising summary, I've got advising comments in here. I've made them a little bit bigger so that I can see what exactly they are. But then in order to manipulate them, I'm going to go back down to that smaller size. And I noticed that my dividers are kind of out of order. So what I want to do is to put them back into an order that's going to make a little bit of sense. And I've got an advising divider here, and I'm going to drag that up and put it in front of where all of my advising documents are. So you just drag and drop, and you'll see that blue line. It'll tell you exactly where you're going to be putting everything. You can also go in here and get rid of some things if you don't want them. Delete that one, it will ask you, and it's gone. As long as it's the only thing highlighted, that's the only thing that'll go away. You can make some minor edits in Adobe Pro. I wouldn't use it for writing anything, but you can do some small changes. So one of the things that I've done here is that I've got an extra word that I want to take out. So if you go over to the sidebar there and go to Edit PDF, you'll see it'll highlight all of the different boxes for you. That's one reason why you don't want to make big changes, because those boxes are static. They won't move. So you don't want to make big changes. But you can take out little words, or you can go ahead and change a misspelled word. In this one, I just took out the associate in front of professor, since last year was my happy year. Finally, the biggest thing that makes using Adobe Pro for our portfolios really useful is being able to bookmark them and create the navigation that's going to make it easy to go back and forth through these digitally. So once you've got all the items in your PDF, you're going to want to bookmark them so that you can jump from place to place easily. So to the left side, you're going to have a little expanding button. Go ahead and expand that, and it's going to give you some options. The first one is a page thumbnail. That's kind of cool, but you don't want that. You want the bookmarks. There's a couple of things in here. There's a menu that will give you some options. There's a trash can for getting rid of them. The one to pay attention to is the bookmark with a plus, because that's how you're going to add your bookmarks. So I've just hit plus. I'm going to highlight teaching over here on the side, because that's where I want it to pop to. And then because I added it before I highlighted it, I need to rename it. So I'm going to name that teaching. And then I'm going to bring up the next area that I want to have highlighted for a bookmark. And you want to make sure that you've got the piece that you want it to hop to in the screen. This one I've highlighted advising first, and then went and clicked on the bookmark, so that automatically added advising to my bookmarks. And I'm going to do a couple more so you can see how that works. This top one is a whole bunch of pages. I'm just adding the top form there, and since I highlighted it at first, it will automatically pop up under all of my other bookmarks. So I will just add a few more in here and then show you some ways that you can go about editing your bookmarks to make them flow easier for you as well. So adding a couple more. And I'm going to stop here and kind of push this whole thing on down the line so that we can get to a part that's going to make a little bit more sense for you. So now I've got all my bookmarks over here on the side, but they're all, you can see the hierarchy, they're all of equal weight. And I kind of want to make it so that only teaching, scholarship, and service are the main bookends, and everything else is nested underneath. So to do that, you just go and click on the bookmark that you want to nest, and you kind of hover over it and then pull it to the side. You're going to see that little line that pops up when you're moving it around. And that's really going to be the way that you go in and nest these under a particular heading or a particular area. You can also move your pages around in here as well, but that's probably best done in the organized pages. But you can do a lot of really nifty nesting and then get things to just hide under a particular area so that you don't have a whole lot of stuff out there. So that advising, I've got all that nested. I'm now going to nest it under teaching, so I only have those 3 areas in my bookmarks. Finally, if you have some other ideas or things that you'd like to try that I haven't given here, please go to the Adobe tutorials. They have a lot of great little short 2-minute videos that'll help you do whatever task you want to do.